Hello, my name is Rob with RoomSync, and today I'm going to be showing you how to join RoomSync from your mobile device. So what I've done is already installed the RoomSync app from the App Store on iTunes, and now I'm going to log in with Facebook. We do require Facebook login for all users at this time, so we can show things like mutual friends, common interests as part of the profile. So we're going to log in with Facebook. We'll click continue. And now we are logged in and we'll start to set up our account. And the first thing that we'll need to do is join a matching network. And in our case, we are going to join RoomSync University. Once you join that, you can join a sub-network as well. So in this case, we'll go into first-year students. And we'll select all room sizes. Now we'll enter a passcode. In this case, it's going to be 12345. And at this point, we are inside of a network. Now, once we're inside, we can set up the rest of our account. And here we're going to put in our name and an email address. And this is how we'll communicate with you if you get incoming roommate requests, that sort of thing. We'll notify you via email. And now we'll get started. We see a couple of screens here explaining how RoomSync works. Basically, start your profile, then pick and choose roommates by swiping, which I'll show you. Then we can chat directly through the app with other users and request roommates. Now, when we're filling out our profile, there are 4 or 5, depending on your network, main sections that you can modify. We have About Me and About My Roommate, which are similar but a little bit varied on the questions here. So if we go into About Myself, I can, on a sliding scale, select my preferences, in this case, neatness levels and visitor frequency, and these are controlled by the client. So you can decide what questions you're asking. They just have to follow this format, and you can have up to 9 of these custom questions. And below that, we also have optional questions that you can activate, including a smoker question, as well as a pet question. And we ask both sides of that, so whether or not you're a smoker, as well as whether or not you want to live with a smoker, for example. And then we have an area where we can describe ourselves. We do also have a content filter here, so if there's any inappropriate language that tries to get submitted, it's not going to be allowed to get through. And we'll go back. The next one is My Ideal Roommate, which is very similar, but a little bit different. So in this case, we're defining ranges for an ideal roommate. And this allows for us to give recommendations inside of the app. And you'll see what that looks like on the mobile side here in just a moment. In this case, we're going to set our ranges nice and wide big, and these are the same questions, just flipped to what I'm looking for in a roommate. And then a summary of what I'm looking for in a roommate. Hello there, perfect roommate. Okay, and we'll click back. So now our About Myself and About My Roommate settings are set, and we'll go into majors and housing options. So on the majors, this is a custom list of majors determined by the client, and you can decide on a full list of majors. I can search from this list. In this case, I'm going to be an art major and an accounting major. And very similar with housing options. Now, not all of our clients activate housing, but if you do decide to, this could be an area where you can list different buildings, residence halls, LLCs. And in this case, we're going to be interested in Quarry Hall and Johnson Hall. So these are things that allow for us to say, well, you have these items in common with a potential roommate. And then last but certainly not least, we have different social accounts that you can link up to. We have Twitter and Instagram, and if you go ahead and put in your username, when other potential roommates are looking at your profile, you'll see icons for these, and you'll be able to one-click to see that account on the respective social network. And we'll go back here. And now at this point, the profile is set, we can always update this in the future. We can also preview there on the top right-hand side to see what it would look like to other potential roommates. But in this case, we're just going to click Done, and we'll start finding roommates. Now from here, the first time that you log in, you'll see a quick tutorial here. If you like someone, you can anonymously swipe them to the right. If you don't like someone, you can swipe them to the left, and they'll also anonymously never know that you did that. But what happens is, as you see potential roommates, when you swipe someone to the right, you will may possibly see nothing, but then if they also swipe you to the right, you'll receive a notification to say this person is interested in living with you. So it makes it easier to start conversations with people you may not know if they want to talk to you or not. Also within here, you can see Ariel, a little bit about himself, a percentage match, which is based on those lifestyle questions that we set. Also things that we have in common. So we answered the same for our smoking question, for our pet question, as well as the bedtime question. Now, if I want to, I can go further in to see his full profile. And from here, I can request him as a roommate. I can see his about myself and about his ideal roommate. If we have any roommates that he's already matched with, they would show here as well, so I can see everyone that he is connected with. I can also see things that we have in common, so we actually have some mutual likes there as well. And then majors, housing options. He hasn't linked up any social accounts there, but you can see social accounts if he has answered those. And then I can see his specific questions that he answered and how he answered those. Now, if I want to, I can also chat directly with Ariel. And this is new with RoomSync Mobile, where I can have a conversation directly through RoomSync. So I don't have to rely on email or Facebook messaging. And we'll go back here. So I sent Ariel a little message. I'm going to swipe Ariel to the right because he looks interesting. And at this point, I'm going to also allow notifications. But I only have one person in the pool here, so there's no one else to view. But as soon as more people come in, I would see more cards populated. And most times you're going to see more cards here. We just have one here for the example. I can also go into my saved swipes, and I can see who I've reviewed. So from here, I can see in my interested tab, I can see all of the people, or I can see only people that I've synced with. That would be both of us swiping each other to the right. So in this case, let's go ahead and get that card out of there. I can see Ariel, and I swiped him to the right. I can start a chat with him. I can request him as a roommate. I can, of course, go into his full profile as well. If I am having second thoughts and I want to actually move him to my skip pile, I can do that here as well. Now, besides that, I can also see all of my chats, all of my conversations that I have going on here in RoomSync, and I can start these and continue talking with individuals. I can also, on the Community tab, interact with the entire community. So from here, I can start a new thread and have a conversation about something of interest to me. That could be either a general announcement, looking at potential roommates. So I'm looking for a roommate and baby. Anyone interested? Okay, and I can click send there. And if you go back here, you'll see that conversation here, and other people can interact with you on that. We also have an area with general information that's supplied by the client. You can see your close date here. We also send out notifications as the close date gets closer. But you can also have a general area where you can put in any information that you would like to help with matching. And then when I request someone as a roommate, they would go here. So what we'll actually do for the purposes of demonstration, we'll go ahead and go to Ariel. We'll request him as a roommate. We'll include a message in here and send out that request. Now from here, the way that I can track this is in the My Room tab. I can see outgoing requests. Here I requested Ariel, and as soon as he confirms me as a roommate, he'll show up under the My Roommate section. So it's a very easy way of tracking the outgoing requests. And if I'm, again, having some second thoughts and I decide, well, I want to cancel that request, I can do that very easily here as well. The last section of the mobile app I want to show you here is under the More area. So there's a contact form. You can also update your profile with all the information there. So if you want to make any changes to what your About Me or About My Roommate says, it's really easy to do that there. And you can also update your email address if you want to change that email in the future. Now, after people match on RoomSync, of course, it depends on our client and what happens at that point. If you were to confirm someone on RoomSync here on the mobile app, you may get a message saying, congrats, now go to your housing office to make the request official, or you may have it where matches on RoomSync are final, and there's nothing else that the resident needs to do. So that runs through all of the major features of the new RoomSync mobile apps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. My email address is rob@roomsync.com. Thanks.